You really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke Podcast, Barbecue War Stories. My name is Sean Walchef from Cali Comfort Barbecue. We are recording above the butcher shop with Derek Marceau. We're here at Valley Farm Market, and we are tech the fuck out.
We are. This is pretty cool. Already learning a lot, man. Getting
Holy
some new shit
shit.
and
learning and buying, right?
buying.
Look, you've already dropped like
been the
$800 since we showed up.
That's pretty
This is the
exciting.
most expensive lunch you've ever given away.
Yay.
It was lunch and $800 in cameras.
Yeah, and then we got a ton of construction going on outside. So that's always exciting.
I like that.
Gives me anxiety about the parking.
Yes.
But what are you
If it
going
makes
to
you, if it makes you feel any better, I get anxiety about your parking as well.
It's rough. It's rough. We're doing an upgrade of a 400 amp panel to an 800 amp panel to get more amperage in here. We're going to put a kitchen in eventually. And to do that, we had a trench across the street. And doing that, they're in my parking lot blocking everything. So I just stay away.
Those
Yeah.
jerks.
If I don't see it, then it's not happening.
Well, for those of you first time tuning in, we appreciate it. This is a business and digital marketing podcast as seen through the eyes of barbecue owners. Derek and I are very fortunate to have grown a long way because of barbecue. Barbecue's given us many gifts, and part of what we want to do every week is bring in people that are doing some really cool shit. And, you know, the podcast intro, which has been a topic of discussion over the last couple of weeks.
Since we started, it's been a
Since
topic
we
of discussion.
started.
It's no joke.
That's a voicemail from a former business partner of mine before we opened up the restaurant. And we find it important to deal with the real shit that entrepreneurs have to deal with. Everything's not always sexy. And, you know, when we were in college learning about business, you certainly don't get personalities like that, and those are the things we actually really have to deal with.
No, it is. It's serious too. Like we're talking about the upgrade for the panel. You know, I was supposed to just be able to get a service upgrade, and they're gonna shoot it right in, and it was gonna be done. It was gonna cost me about $20,000 for the new hardware, and then they figured out they were tapped, and they had to go across the street and do all this stuff, and that turned into a 6-figure upgrade. And it's like that shit you just don't.
Six-figure up, yeah, that wasn't in the fucking budget.
No, it wasn't in the budget, and luckily I sold my soul, and
And your truck.
we're going to be able to get it.
Truck,
We're gonna be able to get it done.
He's walking around Troy Street.
Yes.
This is a really exciting episode. I mean, I don't think we've ever been so fucking teched out, and you know, we love
pretty rad.
technology. You know, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, email. Doesn't matter how you get a hold
I heard
of us.
Derek likes Snapchat for a very particular reason.
Derek
Dick
loves
pics.
dick pics. Big on dick pics.
So where can you send those dick pics?
Yeah. Exactly. No, I never knew what it was about. Honestly, I've always just heard, my employees, the younger generation talking about what Snapchat's all about. And, but yeah, now I'm on.
And I don't think it was created for that reason. I heard you talking about that last episode.
Yes.
I don't think it was created for that reason. I think it was just adapted for that reason.
Sure.
For Anthony Weiner, right? No.
No, he wishes. He
Yeah, he wished it was a Snapchat.
Yeah.
Well, today we have Kyle Whissel and Bryan Koci from Whissel Realty. And these guys are doing fucking things that we talk about. They are the Gary V's of real estate. Not only that, but they just got back from Gary V's age of 2021. And you guys are no bullshit. I mean, seriously, we're Facebook Live on Kyle's page, his own branded page. He has his own realty company. He has his own East County Eats, which is really what we're going to dive into is, probably my favorite story came from Craig Broderick about when his episode, Brody, who we had on this podcast.
Craig's a hoot, just in
Craig's
general.
fucking hilarious. But he told us, he's like, I can't believe this fucking real estate guy.
Yeah.
Like, he came over and he asked if, he could film a video of my business. And,
Thinking outside the box.
yeah. And he's like, I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, why you're selling houses? Why are you coming in here to film my burgers?
Right.
Why are you guys doing that? Welcome to Behind the Smoke. Let's give us a little bit of insight of why the fuck you guys are doing what you're doing.
I'm doing it because Kyle's paying me to do it, and I love that.
Yeah, so for anybody who missed the not safe for work warning on this,
Yes.
you've now been indoctrinated to what
Yes.
Behind the Smoke is all about. Yeah, we want to do things different than everybody else. I mean, that's just our style at Whissel Realty. We don't like to go out there and be like every other realtor. I can't stand it when they get on TV and it's like, I'm the best, use me. I'm not applying for a job, or I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not bragging I'm applying for a job. Like, the typical realtor is just so cheesy.
So salesy.
Yeah, so salesy.
Like
I think
Modern
if you
Family?
look at, like, you know, the top 5 least respected jobs, like, realtors are often in that conversation. And, like, that's
100%.
not just the way that we want to be looked at. We don't want to be looked at as salespeople. So we just wanted to come at it a different approach to really get in front of people in a way that they actually like, as opposed to despising. And so 3 years ago, I hired Brian. He's a full-time videographer on our team. Been one of the best additions we've ever had. And once Brian came on board,
That's fine. The best.
so initially Brian was,
top
yeah,
five.
yeah, like
Top
top
five.
40 hires I've ever made. And Brian was shooting all of our photos for our listings. He was shooting videos for our listings, and that was cool. But I had him full time, and so we had to come up with some fun things to do, how to leverage him, how to leverage, you know, what we do in this industry. And we're a small mom and pop real estate company, and we're out here in East County, and we're thinking about all these businesses in East County, and, you know, a lot of them are mom and pop businesses. That's one of the things we love about East County. And so we were trying to think of, like, how can we give back to these businesses? And the way we came up with it is just to go out there and do a really badass video showcasing who these businesses are, who are the people behind these businesses, why should people go to these businesses, so that we can actually provide value to people, as opposed to just like, I'm the best, use me, buy with me, sell with me, top dollar, all that bullshit that everybody else comes out there and says. Like, let's just be valuable to the community. Let's give back to the community. Let's show people what makes East County so badass.
My favorite catchphrase, so to speak, kind of spinning off of Gary Vee, is my favorite thing is saying content, not commercials. So everyone's doing commercials about this is how good I am, this is how good I am. People call me up, hey, how much for a commercial? I'm not your guy. But we really want to provide content, provide value, which is all regurgitated Gary Vee stuff. But
let's talk about how did you where did the origin story come? Why the videographer full time? I mean, was there?
I just know video is the future. So Google, Facebook, they're all saying at this point that 80+% of the content that's going to be consumed in 2019 is going to be video. And 2019 is less than a year away now. Right. So video really is the future. We kind of had the foresight for that a couple years ago. We were doing some basic video, shooting off webcams and stuff like that. And it was cool. But I just wanted a higher level image of what we do. I wanted that quality to really go to that next level. And I knew that I was never going to be able to do it myself. I tried to shoot some of my own videos. I tried to learn how to edit videos. And I just realized, like, that's not my highest and best use of time. And I'd rather bring somebody in that's an expert in that field. And that's how we came across Brian.
How many people interviewed for the job?
Probably like 100,000 maybe.
Yeah, that we started with like 500,000, and then we went through a narrowing down process to about 4. But what was cool about Brian is literally he interviewed with me the first time, and I told him some of the stuff we were going to do, that we do drone shots, all that stuff. And between the first and second interview, he literally signed up and learned how to fly drones. Like, he signed up for a class learning how to fly drones before he was ever even hired. And so I saw that he had that thirst for knowledge, that he wanted to learn things. And I thought that was really cool. That was one of the things that really made him stand out.
Do you have a real estate background?
So my dad is a real estate broker, but I was never really involved in it.
That sounds like Groundhog Day. It's like, oh, my dad moves piano, so therefore I'm a piano. I can play the piano.
You're right, yeah. No, so I don't really have a background in real estate.
But you impressed him enough for him to bring you on.
Yeah. My side of the story is I interviewed, and then I bugged Kyle for a month until he hired me. But yeah, you know, I was doing a online community management for a voice over IP app company, kind of like Google Voice. And so that was cool because I was still managing a community and building that. But when I heard there was a potential full-time photo video job available, that really, it was what I was doing on the weekends and nights. And so being able to do that full-time was really interesting to me. Getting out from behind the computer every day was something really appealing to me. So that's really what piqued my interest to it.
I think it's cool to listen about, you know, what you guys are doing and how you guys are being innovative. And also, Kyle, understanding, you know, I had to go through the same thing that you're going through, where there's things that I can do at work, but I'm not going to be the best at. So to get a group in, and it takes a lot of humility to say, okay, I can't do this. Let me delegate this and give it to somebody else. And it just brings so much more to your company, and it continues to let you grow. And what you guys are talking about, the added value that you can give your consumers is what they're going to soak up. So if you can add, you know, where to eat, tell these people about the community, show them that you're already vested in this community is another reason why they're going to want to go with you in the real estate business.
Yeah, it's been really cool. When we go do an open house now or we do an event out in the community, people show up and it's like we're already in a relationship with each other, right? Because they've watched video after video that we've done where initially we did all different types of businesses. We did the chiropractor, we did the fitness studio, we did the gym, we did the coffee shop, we did every business all across Santee. We called that first series Santee Saturdays. And we did 100 episodes of that show. It was really fun. And then we finally got to the point, Santee's only 50-something thousand person city, so we started running out of places to do.
Right.
And so we kind of took a look back and thought about which videos did the best, over the 100 videos that we did, and almost every top performing video had to do with food.
Was it one a week?
We did one a week for 100 weeks.
Wow.
So basically 2 years. We did an episode
That's a
every
fucking
single
commitment.
week. Yeah, which was really, really cool. And
There
then
was
we
a
looked
couple
back.
that happened on Friday. There was one that happened on Saturday. There was some stuff.
Yeah. So we looked back and we realized that the food videos always did the best of all the different businesses.
And to give some numbers real quick, the best video for Santee Saturdays on Facebook did 29,000 views. It was Mary's Donuts. They've been there for 60 years. They're moving locations. There was a lot of talk of if they're going to close or not. So that was the best video we did for Santee Saturdays in terms of views.
Yeah, and I think one of the things to give our listeners a more of a context, San Diego County, East County is the stepchild that is always ignored. I mean,
100%.
there's never a time when we're in San Diego Magazine. Like literally, if it's east of the 5, like forget about getting out to Spring Valley, El Cajon, all these places. But there's people, hardworking people, and businesses, like Derek Shop. I mean, since 1956, 1956, these guys have been serving the community and just doing incredible things. And the fact that you guys were forward thinking to go out there and highlight that. I mean, that speaks fucking volumes.
But you have to realize, everyone's going to have to start moving east. I mean, the prices of homes out
Everyone
west.
is moving east.
Yeah, and everyone's coming this way. You're starting to
They can't move much west of the ocean. So.
Yeah, and it's so damn expensive. These homes out there are millions and millions of dollars, and I can't afford that. So I go out, east where I can get a little bit more land. I have 2 boys, one on the way, and it's just somewhere where I have an acre and a half. Kids can ride their quads around. I grew up catching crawdads in creeks and running around barefoot forever. I want my kids to do the same thing. So the only place I could do that was out in Hamul to have
Or La Jolla.
Yeah,
You just get a little acre there.
Yeah. So it's exciting, and we're getting more businesses that are understanding the same concept. You go downtown, you try to put in a restaurant. I think it's a 87% fail rate for restaurants downtown. It's saying something because the leases are so high. You got to start coming west a little bit or east a little bit. And then you start to see all these flourishing businesses, these new, what's the Italian place that just opened up in Lemon Grove that's killing it. But people like
Giardino.
that. Yeah.
We just shot them.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. I saw
Episode
that.
45.
Okay. Yeah. So, they're killing it, and I know they didn't want to be in Lemon Grove at first, but it just makes sense, and everyone's coming out this way. And I think you're going to see a lot of people and a lot of great things coming on out in East County.
One of the things that we talk about frequently, location, location, location is the real estate mantra, and the mantra for opening up a restaurant. You want to be in a high traffic location, but that was back when digital marketing wasn't what it is. What the fuck's happened in the last 10 years? It's mind blowing to think that one of the first ad spends that we did was in a Yellow Pages. That's because you had to be in the Yellow Pages. I'm that fucking old. There's Yellow Pages, and you're like, what is that? Exactly, what is that? Now we have Yelp, we have, Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have all these different ways and these tools to highlight our story and what we're doing. And you guys have thought outside of the box, and it's not about Whissel Realty, it's about community.
Totally. Yeah, it's just fun to be able to give back too, because I know I've looked at buying restaurants and the profit
Why would you do
margins
that?
are insane. Like, more power to you guys
Insanely
for doing
low.
it. Yes,
Insanely.
they're not compared to what we're used to in real estate. They are not the most attractive margins, but what we learned is that the people that do want to run restaurants and own restaurants, they're not doing it for the money 99% of the time. You're not getting filthy rich off running a restaurant. Let's be honest. You're really doing it because you have a love for the food. You have a passion for serving people, and you have a passion for just, that community feel that you get when you own a restaurant. And so we know that with the margins that a lot of these restaurants are running at, like, you can't afford to do some of the stuff. Like, to do a video like we do, if we were to do that outside of East County Eats, Brian, would be $1,500, $2,000. I
Easy.
mean, it'd be
Easy.
easily,
Easy. We've been pitched at we've been pitched by even like companies like Google, where they have a third party company that would come up and tell us, oh, hey, we'll do this for you, optimize your page, but here's your check.
Yeah, so we know
here's what
that
we're going to have to pay.
Yeah, that's not just in the cards for most restaurants. And so with us being a mom and pop real estate company here in East County, we're like, well, let's give back to the mom and pop businesses around East County, especially the restaurants, because it's just not in the marketing budget to do something like this. So it's cool for us to be able to give back to these restaurants, put some of these restaurants in front of people that nobody knew about. We get hit up all the time by people who are like, man, thank you so much. Like, I never knew this place existed. I never knew that place existed. And like, for us, that's amazing. We love that. We love getting stories from the restaurants like, oh my God, that was our Saturday. The video drop was the busiest Saturday we've ever had since we opened. Like, those things make us feel amazing and makes it all worth it.
And you can start building relationships with the other people, and then people are going to be like, hey, I need to buy a house. Who do you think of first? Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a thing. I talk to Sean all the time about it. I'm a relationship person. If I feel comfortable with somebody, we can work together. I help you, you help me. I mean, it's just, again, that added value. And then I think, okay, now it's time to go buy a house. I mean, fuck, let's figure it out, and I can't imagine, and it hasn't grown, but I mean, the real estate, right now, how are you guys doing out there?
Yeah, I mean, the real estate market is amazing. I've been in this, literally I did a networking event last night at SDSU, and it was kind of crazy to talk to some of these kids because I literally got my start in real estate when I was in college too. Yeah. So we're talking to some of these kids that want to get into the industry, and it's like, they're like, how did you get started? I'm like, I literally started when I was your age. When I was 20 years old, I bought my first property. And it's been really fun to be in this industry because, the real estate industry tends to go in cycles. And right now, we're up near the top of one of those cycles. I mean, values have been going up now since 2010. Right. We're 8 years into a really, really good market right now. And right now, there's just not enough homes for sale. There's tons of people buying homes right now. There's just not enough homes for sale. So the opportunity for people that are selling right now is insane because buyers are lining up to buy homes. So the opportunity is crazy for people that want to cash in.
And rates are low enough too, where they can afford it.
Yeah, when I started, when I was 20, rates were 7, 8, 9%, and now rates are like 4, 5%. Right. So, the rates are super low. Like, the opportunities are just insane. I love real estate, man.
Let's talk about Bleeding Edge. What? EXP.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yes. So we feel like the real estate industry has just been due for a change. It's one of those industries that's really been the same forever. Like, it just hasn't changed a whole lot. The way that, if you look at one company, you look at Coldwell Banker versus Century 21 versus, the next guy, they all are the same thing. They got different logos. That's about all it is. There's really not a whole lot that's different about them. A new company called EXP came on my radar about a year ago. And first time I saw it, I was like, okay, this is a trip. They're a cloud brokerage. Like, what the hell does that mean? And I just kind of blew it off initially. Then some people that I really, really respect in the industry, guys like Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, Curtis Johnson, some really amazing real estate agents started making the move over to this company. I was like, all right, it was on my radar, but now it was my focus. And so I probably put 200 hours worth of research into this company, learning like, why are these guys all moving over there? And then it clicked. Like, EXP is the Netflix to what all the current real estate companies are, which are Blockbuster.
Blockbusters, yeah.
And so it's totally the future. Literally, everything in this company is 100% in the cloud. They don't have any brick and mortar offices. It's all in the cloud.
Are those expensive?
Yeah, just a little bit, right?
Real estate guy,
right? Yeah, we were just talking about that with restaurants, right? Like, it's so damn expensive to lease out space. And so this company, because they're running in the cloud, they don't have millions and millions of dollars in leases out there that they've got to pay month after month. And not only do you have to pay leases when you have space, but now you got to furnish them, you got to, payroll, you got, all that stuff. Like, minimum wage is getting crazy.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So these guys decided, you know what, we're going to do everything totally different. Everything is in the cloud. So literally, when you need help, you go in, they have a cloud campus. So you hop on your computer, you walk around a little cloud campus, and you're like, hey, I need help with a transaction. You walk in a room and somebody's there to help you. Hey, I got a question for my broker. You walk in a room, there's somebody there to help you. Like, it's crazy, but it's all in the cloud. So instead of being in a physical office space, blowing a shitload of money on office space, everything is in the cloud, which is crazy.
Huge.
And then what's cool is instead of them going out and trying to invent all their own technology, which is insanely expensive,
And stupid.
super time consuming,
Totally stupid.
they
too.
just partnered with all the best technology companies that already exist. Like, why try to reinvent the wheel? Like, there's people who've been building this technology for 20 years. They've learned all of the mistakes. They know exactly what they're doing. So why try to reinvent the wheel when it already exists and is already running? So they went out and partnered with the best transaction management system, the best website company, the best, customer relation management company. So they just partnered with all the best people out there, which is awesome too. So just everything they're doing is super innovative, and that's what we want to be a part of.
But you don't. Is it all a cart? So you don't have to use all the services.
It's all
But you
included.
can.
So
It's all
that's
included.
what's cool. When you go to a normal real estate brokerage, they don't give you crap. They just give you a phone and they're like, here you go make some phone calls. Good luck, kid.
Yeah.
Where these guys are actually providing you the tools
you're an
you need
independent
to be
contractor, right?
successful. Yes.
You're so you get what you eat.
Exactly.
Whatever you hunt, you get.
Yeah.
You don't get paid just because you came into the office.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We run payroll where we actually have to pay people for coming in.
Right.
And we do all the marketing for it too.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you guys are looking for a spot on a real estate team, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
I know a guy.
So with doing this East County Eats, I mean, is there a top 5? Have you guys, for your personal, what's your favorite
of what
foods?
we've enjoyed eating the
Yeah.
most? Yes. So Funky Fries and Burgers, which was not only our best performer.
How
was
many?
One of their videos, 3.3 million views on one video.
Wow.
So Sebastian, who
3.3
runs that
million.
place,
Wow.
super cool dude, just, thinking outside the box, same kind of thing, like EXP, right? Like Sebastian was like, I want to do things different. I don't want to do things the way they've always been done. Like, let's just get crazy with it, which I think is really cool. And it's really worked out well for him. So they're just a super unique style, but everything tastes legitimately good. Like sometimes you get weird, crazy food and it looks cool, but it tastes like shit.
Right.
Like their food is legitimately really, really good. So Funky Fries was awesome. For barbecue, you guys are fucking amazing. I've always loved your stuff, and it was
Thank you.
cool
It
The
to
best
actually
tri-tip
get
I've
to.
ever had.
Thank you.
Yeah, the tri-tip.
Oh my god.
The tri-tip
Thank you,
was
thank
sick.
you.
So Cali Comfort, love your guys' stuff. Antica Trattoria up in La Mesa, Chef Franco. His gnocchi is insane. Hands down the best gnocchi I've ever had. So I love their stuff. They're up off Lake Murray Boulevard. We just did Eat a Pita out in El Cajon, corner of Avocado and Chase, the Vaughn Shopping Center. They had a Chipotle chicken pita that was off the charts.
Really?
It was so damn good. Like, they do it on the little rotisserie thing and they slice it off to order. All their sauces were scratch made. Like that was one when I walked in, I was like, I don't know, but dude, it was bomb.
You're starting to see a lot of people getting away from commodity stores, like the chains,
Yeah.
and going to these independents because people are actually making sausage
The
from
scratch made
scratch
stuff,
and
that's big.
doing
Yep.
stuff, and it really you can tell the difference right away. I mean,
Totally.
you can tell who actually makes the ranch at the,
Yeah.
the store and who's just getting Hidden Valley stuff.
100%.
You can always tell, and I didn't even know. Now I'm looking at this video because that shopping center has been so dead for so long.
Yeah, it's been rough.
So I'm actually
My favorite Chinese food place used to be right next to it.
the buffet one.
China Diamond. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah. Extra MSG. It was so good.
Oh,
It was my favorite.
God, it was the best.
And there's another place. I should know the name of it. It's over by Harvest Ranch over in El Cajon that just opened up, and it's like a greenery.
Tender greens?
Tender Greens, I think. Is it
Tender Greens?
No, not Tender Greens.
All
It's just like Tender Greens.
Oh, I do love tender greens.
Dude, Tender Greens, they're on my radar.
They're
They
off
went
the hook.
cashless.
Sean
They
just
went
talked to
cashless. I just
was it
sent
the
the
CEO.
CEO a LinkedIn message.
He's
Tell him
gonna
to
come on the podcast.
Yeah.
to talk about going cashless.
Yes.
The
I
amount
love
of
Tender
amount of
Greens.
money that we spend and time to count. We're literally a mini bank.
Yeah.
I mean, we have bartenders that come in. They come in early for their shift to count their change and their coin bag. That same bartender
Spending hours per day.
Hours
Yeah.
per day.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, forget about it. Only 25% of our business is cash. 75%
Interesting.
75% is on credit cards. So yeah, we'll pay more for the credit card fees because in the long run, the amount of time that we're going to save is we're actually getting charged by the bank to deposit cash.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Jeez.
nuts. I mean, that's
crazy.
talk about a broken system. I mean, that's a broken system. I'll go to the bank and I'll wait in line to make change for the restaurant. And I'm waiting for 45 minutes. I'm like, I feel like I'm looking at a fax machine. Like, I feel like I'm looking at a fucking dinosaur. Something has to change. And that goes back to what you were talking about, the real estate model. Derek and I, we are obviously very, very excited about what we can do as small business owners with the internet, with digital marketing, for one barbecue restaurant, one butcher shop to be able to talk about the growth of the West Coast barbecue movement, to be able to put on an amateur barbecue contest, a professional contest, to be able to go out to National Barbecue Association, their trade show, and talk to all the heavyweights in barbecue about, our experiences podcasting, our experiences going live, our experiences, being on Twitter, being on Instagram. Those are options that were never available before.
Right.
Never fucking available before. I mean, we're having friendships around the globe where people are like, hey, when I come to the United States, I'm coming to not only to San Diego, I'm coming to Spring Valley to see you guys.
Yep.
You're like, dude,
yeah, we've
that's
had
fucking
people
rad.
post, they're like, yeah, spring break next year, I'm going to El Cajon. Like, holy
winning.
shit. Yeah, we just made it because somebody on the East Coast wants to come to El Cajon for their spring break because of a
That
video of ours that they saw. Like, how rad is that?
Shawnee,
is
you're just
fucking-
talking about that today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Going to
talking
El
with,
Cajon?
no, Chris, about the podcast and how people are like, I can't wait till we go on vacation because we're going
Yes.
to come to Spring Valley.
We're coming to Spring Valley.
To have
they're so
barbecue.
fucking fired up. Like we have friends in Norway, we have friends in Australia now, we have friends in Slovakia. They're like, dude, I've never been to the United States. But when I come, I'm coming to Spring Valley. Like, fuck yeah, you are. You better believe it.
Right. It's called crafted greens.
Yes.
And,
Crafted greens.
In El Cajon. The
Well,
new-
tender
new-
greens, we love that cashless.
Yeah, but crafted greens is the new one in El Cajon that people are raving about.
We're all for that healthy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're always looking for new businesses. We're actually going to start season 2 of East County Eats here, probably in about a month or so. So we're always looking for new businesses. EastCountyEats.com is if you want to go and fill out a form to be featured. That's a quick little plug.
Who gets that form?
Shasta and I get the form.
So when did you bring on Shasta? Because I noticed there was a change. Something happened in June 2nd. Kyle published,
Is that not exactly?
and then it was June 7th. Shasta came on. And I was like, oh shit, Kyle's making moves.
I don't got time to write.
Yes.
I just got time to talk and eat. That's my job. My team does the rest.
Yeah,
but
so
talk-
she does a lot of the behind the scenes, the pre-booking, the post-booking stuff. She writes the blog for us, because if it were me writing the blog, it would literally be, this is food, it's yummy, watch the video. Like, that would be it.
Right.
And so she goes through and does all of the research and
Well, yeah, there's a lot of work that happens, to put this podcast on. We do show notes every single week, and, having links in the show notes. So anything that we do talk about EXP, anything like that, people can go and get more information. That stuff is important, and
takes
plus
so long.
plus it's SEO content, plus it's forward thinking. And when you go onto your site, you have, this is going to YouTube. It's got to look different on YouTube than you're putting it on Facebook. All those different platforms matter.
Yep.
Why is that?
You're the
for it.
techie guy, dude.
No, go for
You're
it.
the
I've been
techie
talking
guy.
all day.
So, I mean, you got to go where people are, right? And not everyone is at one spot, right? So you have the younger generation and the pantsless generation on Snapchat. You have, Facebook is getting progressively older. And so then you have to go where not only your audience is now, but where your audience or where your future audience will be, right? So if you're selling things for 18 and up, maybe you don't, if you only focus on where 18 and up is now, they're going, if your audience, let's say, is 18 to 24, if you focus on them now, once they age out, then you're done. So you always have to go either younger or older to really find where people are going. And so I think having, back to your point of having it look different on different things, you have to have content that's native, right? So if you go to a rap concert and you see someone playing bluegrass before 50 Cent goes on, that's not going to be native. You have to make sure you're putting the correct content on the right platform, so that way it can be consumed, so it will be consumed, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's like, the simple things, like when you're posting on Instagram and you're clicking the little modile to go, oh, I want it to post on Facebook and on Twitter. On Twitter, it's just going to come up with a link.
Yep.
It's not going to look, there are apps like If This Then That
Yep.
that you can use that'll help you, use that natively. But really, you have to be in each platform, which is stuff that Gary Vee talks about all the time. It's like, if you're not inside that platform and living in it, you're missing all the opportunities.
100%.
Yeah, and I think it's different for everybody, though.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't know. I just can't. I can't do everything Gary Vee says. I'm
So what are your biggest, what's his thing, what's the biggest thing that you're like, I don't want that? because I don't agree 100% with what he said. I don't think anyone.
I was telling Sean today. I'm like, he's hard. He's a difficult one for me to listen to. Okay. I like
too much language, huh?
Right.
Like this is a fucking Christian show. Don't turn down the language.
Right.
Yeah, Derek is very turned off by that.
He seems like he's gone down a path that's been very, very successful for him. And I think it's great and it's worked well for him. But just because he did it and it worked well doesn't mean it's the right way. And I think a lot of times he just focuses on this is what you have to do, but it's different for everybody and everyone has different goals. Like for me, my goals aren't always monetary goals. It's not always about, the transactions and who's going to come in here. It's more about a community feel and what I can give back and who I can reach and what I can do with my kids and, get my kids to see that it's not about just taking all the time and getting everything out of every single thing and go, but it's the quality time that you can give with somebody. So a lot of times when he's just like, it's go, you just push. It's like, well, no, sometimes you can't. And
his 20-hour days aren't for me.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just do it all the time and don't kid yourself. I fucking did it a lot. And I mean, Sean and I would talk about it all the time. I fucking live here. I'd sleep inside the store and sleep upstairs during Christmases and when I'm tying prime ribs and I wouldn't go home. That was before kids. Well, my goals have changed now that I have kids and I have a family. So it just doesn't always hit home with me with what he talks about. I'm more of a Joe Rogan guy. I listen to Joe Rogan, his podcast every day. And
that takes up half the day.
Right.
I like Joe Rogan, but man, his 16-hour podcast or whatever they're at. I don't want to talk shit on the dude. I love the guy, but I think his average podcast is like 3 hours?
Yeah, it's a lot
of time.
It's definitely a lot. And some of them are kind of hard to listen to too. I mean, not everyone is going to hit home with you, but for me, Gary V, I know a lot of his content's really good and his voice fucking bugs me too. So it's a lot.
It can be grating, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the best part about it is that it's the internet and it allows us to dive into a niche and to connect no matter who it is we connect with, whether it's Joe Rogan, whether it's Gary Vee, whether it's Tim Ferriss, whether it's Entree Leadership, whether it's, Dave and Jeff podcast, whatever entertainment we want, it's on demand and it's not forced down us the way traditional media used to be forced down us.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is more fucking disturbing than listening to Scott Kaplan and then having to go in, he's having a great conversation with one of his guests and then he has to break for a mandatory commercial. We're living in an age where that shit is just, it's unacceptable. You can't go onto a website and then have something pop up and you're like, fuck this website. Like, I don't even want to go on Union Tribune's website. How annoying is that? It's like Union Tribune. I used to eat that newspaper every single morning and I'm like, I can't even fucking get it anymore. And I don't want the digital side either because they don't get it.
Right.
They don't get it. And if they don't get their shit together, they're going to have a very tough business model. It already was a tough.
No, they're going to be the blockbusters for sure.
Absolutely.
It's, but you are 100% right. You have so many different choices at your fingertips now and you can pick and choose what you want and you can get instant knowledge right away. And I think that's what's so cool about this whole podcasting stuff. It's you can see so many different things that you're doing. I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, the YouTubes. Well, we talk about recipes all the time.
YouTubes. You just said the YouTubes.
Yeah,
I just wanted to drop that there.
Yeah,
the YouTubes.
The YouTube videos. but
for sure.
It's the things of you used to guard all your recipes, right? I'm not going to tell anybody. Well, guess what? They're fucking everywhere. Everyone knows everyone's recipe. And guess what? A lot of my recipes are salt and pepper. So it's
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, it's not too fancy, but it's just putting out there and giving that more knowledge to your consumer. They become more vested in you. And I mean, I think it works in every area. It's not just grocery stores or barbecue restaurants. It's everything.
Well, once you get back to the why and the transparency of being authentic, then you're not trying to overproduce something that, ultimately ends up as fake. Nothing's worse than a fucking stock photo. I mean, since we started the restaurant, one of the things that pissed me off the most was trying to figure out how to get a website without shitty stock photos. I'm like, I want it to actually be our fucking food. Even if the photo sucked, obviously I want a sexy photo, but even if the photo sucked, I want that to be our photo. So when you come in, that's actually what you're eating, and that's why platforms like Yelp are successful because, I mean, literally we talked about in the last podcast, my wife, we go to the restaurant, she pulls out Yelp and that's how she orders from the menu.
And same thing with Facebook Live, right? It's live. And that's the thing one of the things I like about Facebook Live is it allows everyone to do video well right away.
Yes.
Because all Facebook Live looks like this, right? And this is actually probably better because we have the input of the audio, we have the camera switching. But 90% of Facebook Live is with a cell phone. So people go, oh, I don't know, Brian. I don't have your thousands of dollars worth of camera gear and then thousands of dollars worth of audio and then all the editing. And I say, all you need is this, because this levels the playing field and it gives you that real, authentic live version. And I do think there is room for, I would hope so, because it's my job, for edited, produced videos. But having that live rawness, I think there's a lot of value in that too.
I agree. And I think, just for you saying that, because other people that are in your profession, they would feel it as competition. Like, oh, they're just fucking up, what we do best. But if you think about it, like, all it is sharpening the saw. Really all it is making sure that, like, that's why you're more valuable, is because now look at all this content that's out there and mine's way fucking better.
Yeah.
And like, not only is it way better, but I'm willing to go and show you how I do it, how I do my editing process, which you guys just did recently. Talk about
Well, it's not just that either. You're bringing more people to the platform and being able to see it. So it's becoming more of a norm. More people do it, then they see yours, and it's just an added thing.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, maybe now, and I've been a photographer for 8 or 9 years now, and everyone talks about, well, now these cell phones, they're taking the job, right? Yes and no. You had a smaller niche market of people that wanted photos. Now everyone wants photos.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot more people doing it, but now everyone wants photos. Right. And it's getting that way with video too. And so, I like to show my editing. I like to show the behind the scenes stuff, because a lot of times, even agents that I work with in the office at Whissel Realty, they go, oh, can you just do this? I did a shoot yesterday, La Jolla. They tried to book it for $430, and it was a $2.5 million house. They wanted twilight photos. They wanted a drone. They wanted everything. Sunsets at 5:30. I said, I can't do. It'll be dark at 6. I can't do everything you want in an hour and a half. And a lot of times they just don't understand. And so I like to show the behind the scenes stuff, the behind the scenes editing. I mean, for each one of these East County Eats, it probably takes me 8 hours from start to finish, from the booking process to the uploaded, published, running the ads, optimizing it on YouTube, all that sort of stuff.
And if somebody wants to see that, where do they go?
Find us on Facebook or YouTube, East County Eats. Facebook is really our platform where we've grown our community. YouTube is something now that I'm starting to focus on a little bit more, with optimizing it with tags, optimizing it with descriptions and cards and all that sort of stuff. So that's my new kind of focus, is to get that up to snuff. But our Facebook page, we're on episode 45, so a little under a year ago. We've had 17,000 followers. Like I said, our biggest video hit 3.5 million or 3.3 million views. So
incredible.
That's really where we're putting out a lot of this stuff.
So are you guys, you're doing a season 2, you
yes.
said. Are you guys thinking that you're going to branch out a little bit more and do more of a San Diego thing? Or are you guys sticking to East County?
You're in the cloud now.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing what?
Now you can go everywhere, right?
You can go to
We're going to
SpaceX.
Singapore.
East Coast.
Yes.
I mean, do you want to, I don't know, in reality, is it something where you're just really, do you not want to expand and get out? Or is
That's what we've debated. And I think we're going to take a little time. I mean, we're going to keep putting videos out, so we're not going to stop the output of videos, but we're going to take a break from, because we actually shoot 3 different dishes at every restaurant we do. And we've been so busy that we've only been able to put 1, sometimes 2 per week out. So we got a ton of footage that we haven't even released yet. So we're going to take a little break from new stuff.
Well, someone's got to get on that shit.
Make sure we get...
Somebody's going to get that shit on Instagram.
20-hour weeks, bud.
Yeah.
20-hour days.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
The Gary Vee schedule.
Yeah, so we're going to make sure we get some of that content out that we haven't had an opportunity to get out. And we're going to debate, we're kind of looking at, do we go deeper into East County and not just do the restaurants, but start doing some of the community events, right? Like when they're doing a barbecue cook-off or chili cook-off or something like that, right? When they do the Mother Goose Parade, like, do we dive in and not just do the restaurants, but do some of the events happening, go deeper into East County, which is, what Gary Vee's all about?
Depth.
Or do we go wider and do more restaurants outside of East County, which there's a lot of sexy restaurants outside of East County. East County, it's tougher to find the unique crafty style restaurants. So we're kind of debating what to do. So we're not set one way or the other. So we can either expand out of East County or we can go deeper into East County. We're open.
So you guys are still wanting to do it. So you're obviously getting a big return on it, or a big enough return where it makes it worth it to keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the financial return so much. I mean, you know, the amount of time we spend, I mean, like Brian said, he's spending 8 hours a week on it. I'm spending a couple hours a week on it. You know, are we truly getting a return? I don't know. That's debatable. But it's not about the financial return. It's about what we're doing for the community, what we're doing for, you know, people like you guys that are running restaurants. Again, we talked, you guys do not run at massive margins. It's super, super tight margins. So if we can come out and, you know, just do our part to expose people to East County, it's all worth it for us. And if we make some money in the process, then cool. But
what do you think about Gary Vee?
I love Gary Vee, man. I don't love everything he does, though. Like, we went to this conference. There was a lot of realtors there. And, I mean, there were like 20 people who had camera people following them around. It was weird.
Everyone had a
Everybody
D-Rock.
had a D-Rock,
Yeah.
right?
And it's weird going to that because I'm usually the only one.
You're the only
And then I
D-Rock.
see 15 people. I'm like,
what
dang,
the fuck?
I gotta size these guys
Everyone's
up.
got media badges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I took a couple cameras.
It was a trip. And I don't know that that's for everybody. Like, especially in real estate, like, first figure out how to sell a fucking house,
Yeah.
right? If you don't know how to sell a house, you don't need a photographer following you around. Like, let's make sure your core business is selling houses. So focus on that first. Learn what the fuck you're doing. Learn how to sell a house. Learn how to take care of your client. Learn how to stay in touch with them before you worry about having a camera guy follow you around. Because there's people there that have, you know, people following them around and they're making 10 grand a year and paying their photographer 50 grand a year. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
Right? So I don't know that the message of, you know, video everything that you do all day, every day. Like, I don't know that that's right for everybody. For people at certain points in their career, absolutely. But it's not for everybody. So that part of his thing, I don't, 100% agree with. But majority of what Gary Vee says, I love. I love that he's always ahead of the curve on what is the new platform. One of the coolest things at that Agent 2021 is they literally went into every platform and said, Facebook, here's what we're excited about. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's coming. Instagram, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're excited about. Here's what's coming. Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, like every platform, that was by far my favorite part of the entire event.
Is there any platform that you hadn't thought about that they made you think differently about?
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Pinterest is big because Pinterest is growing like 50% year over year.
Insane.
Where you look at Twitter's falling off. Mm-hmm. Pinterest is still growing 50% year over year. And I think it was like 70% of the moms in the world are on Pinterest.
Who make all the buying decisions.
Who tend to, whether they initiate it or they finish it, they are always a very important part of the decision to buy or sell a house. So they talked about that, and I think there's an opportunity there to tap into that.
I think it's really important, and something for our listeners to think about that are wanting to open up a restaurant or anything. What you just said about, you got to hone in your craft. You have to know what you're doing first. And, the digital, it's marketing is going to be great, but that's just kind of icing on the cake. You have to have I can't put out a shit product and
I was just going to say that's a Gary Vee quote. Yep.
Is that? I don't know.
He's big into, look, you can have the best marketing in the world, but if you got a shit product, it's a shit product.
Yeah, it's a shit product no matter what. So you have to really make sure that you're really being hyper focused on what you're putting out. And then on top of that, it will just be added value when you get there. But embrace the process before you get there, because some of the best things I've ever learned were during the daily grinds of just being in the meat cooler or breaking down beef and stuff like that, that it's so fucking hard and people don't understand it anymore. But I'm so fucking happy I did it and took the time to understand where cuts of meat come from, breaking everything down, that I can now give that value to my customers and I can give it to my employees and tell them, hey, this is what we need to tell our customers, and the why you're getting this, and why is this meat more tender than this meat, and the different grades and everything.
So what's the best cut of steak?
Depends if you want flavor or tenderness.
Okay, what's best for flavor? What's best for tenderness?
Flavor is going to be ribeye.
Okay.
And tenderness is going to be tenderloin. Tenderloin's a muscle that's not a weight-bearing muscle and is very rarely used in the cattle.
Okay.
So that's why it's so tender. The ribeye is going to be probably the highest pH balance. Next to the flat iron is really, really high now, but it's going to be just extremely tender. The spinalis on it, the cut, it's like the cap on the ribeye. It's called the spinalis. That's like your best one.
These guys got meat down to a science. I like it.
Well, I've done.
Your product. Imagine that.
Right. I know. I was 11 years old when I first broke down my first cattle. It was just kind of something I've always done, and breaking down into deers and going hunting and doing a bunch of stuff. And it's a lost art. And I talk to people about it a lot, and I think it's really important to kind of know where your food's coming from. So I do a lot of hunting. I feed my family a lot of the moose that I hunt, or elk or deer, and a lot of stuff like that. So I think it's really, really important to know that process and how to do it right, and to give respect to those animals.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. Fishing too. Fish is great.
Yeah, I think one of the things Derek just talked about, we had Grayson LaFrenz, who's the CEO of Power Digital Marketing, come in and podcast with us, and we talked about just exactly that. If he's asked to go to a client and the client actually has a shitty product, there's no amount of marketing, there's no amount of blog content, SEO optimization for their website that they can do to fix their business. Mm-hmm. You have to have a great product or service to begin with, and then really the digital marketing, that's all just gasoline on top of the fire.
And it's okay if you have a shit product.
Yeah,
but fix it.
Fix it.
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
okay.
Because not every product was fucking great to begin with. For sure.
There's some recipes that I came out with before. I talked about my first beer I made. I'm a certified Cicerone, so been doing stuff in the beer industry forever. Been brewing beer for a long time. The first beer I ever drank was the hands down worst beer you've ever fucking had in your life. But it's what you need to do.
Every friend who homebrews, their beer tastes like shit. Let's be honest.
Oh, do you want to try this? No, fucking thank you.
Do you want more? Fuck no.
No, not a fucking chance.
A lot of
give me a Bud Light.
Yeah, anything but that. But embrace that process and learn from it. Those are like I say, the times that you learn the most. You learn the most by just doing it and getting out there
and crashing your drone and doing shitty photos. Yeah, I haven't done that, but I've heard people. Now? We have it depends when I crash this one, but we have the Phantom 3 Pro.
Nice.
And looking to get another one. So I told Kyle we either need to get new batteries or a new drone. So looking at the.
You ready to do it? We can do it right now. Just like I had to buy the.
I know it's on
this is
the most on file.
This is the most expensive podcast we've ever done.
Amazon.
Literally, the most
Amazon's
expensive
loving
podcast.
us right now. Amazon's making bank right now.
Yeah.
It's not even available. It's
if you bring Whissel Realty on your podcast, you'll all of a sudden be putting shit in your Amazon cart.
So this is the one you want?
No, that's the one I have. So right now I need a couple new batteries.
The Phantom 3 Professional.
Yeah, it's not available for purchase. So
what
if
do we
you
want
now? The unique one, that hasn't been crashed, let me know. I'm thinking that the Mavic Pro or the Mavic Pro Platinum. It's a little smaller, so it's a lot it's a lot easier to set up. Makes a lot less noise, which
That's
is really
the one
cool.
we have. And I say we, but it's my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And I just take it from him whenever I want to use it.
Either that one, I hear they're coming out with a new one next month, so maybe check out that. They just came out with one, it's not the Spark. It's bigger than the Spark, but smaller than the Mavic. It's the, maybe it's called like the Mavic Air.
It's the other one.
What's that?
It's the other one.
Yeah, so...
Those things are so rad, though. I mean, just watching my buddy Josh.
Victor, our manager, just got one. He's putting out some fucking... Oh, yeah, Josh did an incredible job.
Yeah.
That was rad for our barbecue festival.
Exactly. But it's that's the one he has right there.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's a lot quieter than the one we have now.
Yeah.
I'm cool showing off the drone, but I hate when people are like, that's annoying, And it's about the noise of like a...
Has it ever been shot at?
No.
one's
At least not with a good shot. It's never been shot down.
I know there's I saw a fishing video on the pier. Someone was doing
saw that.
and they casted a line and got...
I love seeing those crashing videos because it's not me. When it's my videos, I don't like watching that video. But no, the first time I took it up, I introduced it to a tree. So it was the first time I flew it, and I have the video, and I don't think I'll ever share it, but I have. I was with one of the agents and said, "Hey, your job is to keep an eye on it, make sure I don't run into anything." Cool. 10 minutes later, and so he's like, "Oh, I'm going to tell Kyle." And I said, "Give me a couple hours to go home, see if I can fix it before you tell Kyle that I broke the thing that I flew on the first time."
How many agents are there now?
We've got 25 agents roughly.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's rad.
And you're the broker, right?
Yeah, no, not anymore. EXP is the broker now.
EXP is the broker.
Now I'm the
Where's your
team
storefront?
leader. We've got an office in Santee, one in North Park, and
So this is official notice that you guys will be moving out, or you've already given them?
no, we're staying. So we're keeping our offices. But what's cool with EXP
not
is
very
they give
cloud of
us
you.
Regis Executive Suite memberships to drop into offices whenever we want.
What are like share
around the
offices
county.
type deal?
Yeah, so some of that co-work, executive
Why are
suite
you
kind of
keeping
thing.
your office?
It's just kind of a staple of the community.
Ah,
Yeah,
there
and then we
go.
get to do events and stuff like that. So we're gonna do an event coming up for some of our VIPs. We're gonna do like Girl Scout cookies and beer, and doing like fun stuff like that. We've hosted some UFC fights there and some boxing fights there and stuff like that. So
Really?
it's been cool. Yeah.
Plus, it's
Nice.
not easy to do a green screen in the cloud
Yes.
with the studio and the sound panels and the mics and the lights and all that sort of
That's
stuff.
a good point. Yeah.
So basically, for me, I mean,
you're the
it's
reason.
all about me.
Such a needy bitch.
You're such a needy
Very expensive, man.
Hey, I didn't make you spend any money today. You guys just did that on your own. That's all Kyle's doing right there.
That's fucking hilarious.
No, that's cool though. I mean, obviously that's a lot of growth. And North Park,
Yeah,
That place is
we
taking
love
off,
North
too.
Park. Yeah, that's where it's like it'd be fun to expand the video series and start hitting stuff like that because there's
Right.
so many cool concepts
and bars and beers.
Yeah, and I mean I can go to a place and get coffee and a beer in the same place. Like that's cool.
Right.
So it'd be fun, but I don't know. We're kind of up in the air right now.
What do you guys think we should do? You guys are marketing.
I think
folk.
you guys should be.
We should just
I think-
follow around Cali Comfort, and Valley Farm Market, and do a reality show around those two restaurants.
No,
that were up to
I
them.
think honestly, I think you guys should be talking to other real estate professionals and teaching them how to do what you do. I mean, when you were out at Agent 2021, I mean, those are probably the people that have their pulse on what's going on with the real estate world.
Right.
How many of them have shows like what you have?
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to replicate
be
it.
honest
So I
here.
spoke at an event in Vegas in front of like 6,000 people and kind of shared.
You shared
what
your
we
secrets?
Do.
Oh,
There's no
fuck.
secrets.
Well,
no
so
secrets,
there's two
baby.
secrets. There's two secrets, and
You?
obviously, I guess that's a third. No, but I was a little worried when I first came in because he was starting to share all this information. We have a Facebook
Hey,
group.
what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like, hey, but I found out for the last 3 years, the two secrets are work hard and spend money.
Yeah.
Well, how do I do that with no budget and like 4 hours a year?
With
Like,
this- with this thing.
Yeah, and it's like you have to either it's sweat equity or
Check equity.
check equity. But a lot of people want to. How do I do that without any money? Right? How do I have a successful barbecue place, but I don't want to buy any meat?
Yeah, no payroll.
Yeah, or no nothing.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, you can't. So the two secrets, it all boils down to that. We had a guy come into our office talking about what's the non-industry word? Building a community, focusing on a community and selling to being their trusted resource. And he said, these are the checks I write every month. And it was lots and lots and lots of money. And he does lots and lots and lots of work. And so those are the secrets.
Right.
How to do it without, I don't know how to do it. It's how do you lose weight without working out and changing your diet?
I was just going to say that.
I mean,
I'm on a weight loss journey right now. I've lost like 65 pounds, and it's
congratulations.
I'm fucking proud of you.
It's really really funny because it's like I know the secrets now, and it's fucking watch what you eat and exercise.
Exactly. It's
You know
the
what I
two
mean? It's like
secrets.
these two
It's-
things that have been eluding me my whole life.
Man,
It's
if
like,
only someone would have told you that
yeah, there's no fucking pill. There's no like, every fucking day I work
one of
out.
those belts, you
Yeah,
get one of
that
those.
just jiggles and fucking exactly. No, but it's true. It's like you're always looking for that something that's just gonna be a lot easier, and it's like it fucking comes from hard work, man.
100%.
It's not. There's times that I don't want to fucking work out, but then when I'm done, I'm so fucking happy I did it, and it just changes your attitude. But it's just those things. It's work and work
Yeah.
and work and fucking pay attention to what you fucking put in your body.
100%.
There's no hidden secret. Just get out there and do it.
Yep.
Have you guys considered podcasting?
We do
Yes.
a radio show on AM 1170, The Answer. And so we shoot with the Mevo camera that we're using right now to go
Yep.
Facebook Live. Then obviously it airs on the radio and it's podcasting all simultaneously. So it's 3 for 1.
So it's podcast. Where's it hosted? Is it hosted on the radio website or?
Ask Brian.
Because I don't deal with. I think they're doing it through SoundCloud or there's another.
Can I get it on iTunes?
I believe yes.
Yeah.
iTunes and Google Play and. I
I
believe.
mean,
I haven't
funniest
checked, to
the
be
funniest
honest.
thing for us about podcasting has been how slow radio is to adapt to it. And once, these are radio professionals, and they're.
Do you think they're slow to adapt to it?
I think so. Honestly, I
mean,
mean,
I think-
outside of like Dave and Jeff and Scott Kaplan.
Well, and if
like
they-
it's literally their show, and then it just goes up on their website.
Yeah, I
I
and
think
their
a lot
website
of people are leaving radio to do podcasts.
leaving radio, like radio talent.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. I don't think the radio stations are doing a good enough job because they're not doing the show notes. They're not doing.
Well, they're
That's
not
right.
embracing it.
yeah,
right.
they're not promoting it in different areas. It's just Oh yeah, we could do that. They're checking the box, but they're not really. They're putting the one medium or one piece of content on several mediums, but really not adapting to it.
I mean, it's like the TV problem. They're focused on the Nielsen ratings and they're focused on Arbitron ratings in radio. They're focused on these ratings that drive everything. This is how they get sponsors. This is how they do things, but they're missing the fucking boat. You know, like when we interviewed Scott Kaplan for the podcast, we talked to him and we're like, dude, Scott, I don't want a fucking 15 seconds on Mighty 1090. You know, I want you to come to Del Mar Barbecue Championship and vlog. You know, I want you to put a fucking YouTube. 'Cause that means way more to us because we can repurpose that content. It doesn't do us any good once, you know, the 15 seconds are gone.
And when you're done here, go to Valley Farm Market and try a steak. Like, I don't want to fucking hear that shit. It's just not, it's not fucking organic. It's not, you know, I hate that stuff. And that's where they continue to go. They just keep doing that shit. And it's
because it's working still well enough now, but their market is going to age up.
right.
And just like you guys being on Snapchat, maybe even though the demographic is 14-year-old girls and they're not pushing the buying power of where they buy their barbecue, but when they age up, or the 15-year-old guys that are on there because of the 14-year-old girls, when they age up and they're going on dates or they're just eating like human beings,
Right.
this is where they'll go because
Sure.
they consume that content, and you've already talked to them for however long on their specific platform.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the one of the things I do like about Gary Vee is, you know, people are so obsessed with algorithm changes and, it's everything's fucked now. Like, you guys can't have a viral video, you know, because Facebook changes their algorithm. Talk about why that's not true.
Because if it's good quality content, then it's going to go viral no matter what. So one of the things we talk about, we're doing a lot of video talk. We got an award a few months ago as the #1 video influencer in real estate in North America.
Rad.
Which is pretty fucking
Fuck
awesome.
yeah.
So we're
That's
stoked on
badass.
that.
Congrats on that. Man.
Yeah.
It was really cool once I saw the other names on the list. I was like, okay, cool. And then I saw the other names. I'm like, these guys are doing good shit.
That's
Right.
that's
Like,
fucking
so-
great.
So the key is the content. Even if the video sucks, even if the audio sucks, people will still watch it if the
To a degree.
content's good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have decent enough video and decent enough audio, but the content is king. No matter what, it's all about the content first and foremost. So too many people are worried about investing tens of thousands of dollars of cameras and lights and everything else. And no matter how much you spend, if the content sucks, nobody's going to watch it. You could have the best audio, the best video, but if you don't have the content, it doesn't matter. So everything, whether it's written form, whether it's podcast, whether it's video, it's all about the content. That people are always going to gravitate to the content. And I think that's where people need to make their focus. They're worried too much about everything else and not the content itself. So quality content always dominates.
Well, and another thing Gary Vee says is, everyone complains about the algorithm changes on Facebook, and he's big on not being dependent on a specific platform for your entire business, right?
Yep.
We see agents all the time that 100% of their business is leads from Realtor.com or Trulia or Zillow.
People don't buy a house because they saw a bus bench.
Yeah, right. But even if your entire business is built on that, if they shift, you're fucked,
Yeah.
right? If Zillow says, okay, we're not selling this anymore, or we're selling it for 10 times the price, and then it messes up. So you have to be, again, talking about multi-platform, you have to have several pillars for your business to let rest on. So that's one of the things he talks about when talking about the algorithm. And two is he goes, Facebook is free. They're not charging. You can't be mad that the company that you use to build and grow and put your business to where it is now, you can't be mad that they want to start charging you for it now. It's been a bonus, and a lot of people think of it as their birthright of, no, I deserve Facebook for free and everyone to see it.
Sure.
But it's been a free bonus for so long, and now, things are changing to where organic reach is declining, but we're still seeing good organic reach on things like our Facebook Live. You just got to see where they want to push you, right?
Sure.
So
Well, where the engagement is.
exactly,
And,
and,
the biggest
right
thing
now
is
Live is huge.
social media has a negative connotation where people have most of the time a negative reaction to what it is. It's just the fucking internet. You know, I mean, Gary.
It's the current state of the internet.
It's just the
That's
fucking
word for word
internet.
quote.
That's all it is. You know, it's like I had problems with Snapchat. And then I got over that, and I realized there's fucking people on Snapchat.
Yep.
You know, once that happened, it's just another affirmation that, hey, I had the same fucking problem with Facebook when Corey Robinson, you know, who sells real estate up in Marin County, you know, when him and I opened the restaurant, we opened the restaurant, and I made fun of him for having a Facebook account. I was like, what are you fucking doing? Are you picking up chicks or what? And it's like, oh, well, you can use Facebook actually to build your business. I'm like, really? So and then I opened up Facebook, and now to see what's happened in the last 10 years, it's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. You know, we had Jack Harris, my best friend who owns Blue Lagoon Coffee. You know, he opened up his coffee shop in La Mesa. Just what he was able to do in one day, taking over his Facebook account, setting that up and doing a Yelp profile. It's insane. Absolutely insane. People were coming in. He's like, dude, I can't believe how many fucking people told me they came in because of Facebook.
Right.
I'm like, well, welcome to the world that we live in. You know, like this shit is relevant. Is really fucking relevant.
Yep.
Because they can see it right away. I mean, you can. Everyone, I talked to you about it the other day. It's just so, it's at your fingertips.
Yeah.
If you can just click it real quick, you click on Facebook, you click on your Instagram. I mean, I don't know how many times a day people, you know, scroll their feed, but it's
don't look up the stats. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's like 14 times a minute or something. It's something
Well,
stupid.
thankfully, they tell us now how many times you've gone into your Instagram account.
Yeah. So, I mean, but people are looking at it. So there's just content. And if you're there, they see it. It's that instant gratification, instant thing right away. And they'll go fucking do it. And it's the new thing. But Blue Lagoon Coffee is fucking good, though.
Right.
That's just, I mean, he has a good product. So
Where's
I
that?
guess right in La Mesa.
Yeah.
Tell them to hit us up.
Yeah.
We will.
He just,
Why is a personal brand also important?
Because your personal brand you can carry with you no matter what you do. I mean, you can shift. You know, you guys shifted, right? You guys were straight breakfast restaurant.
Yep.
And then you guys have shifted to, you know, barbecue restaurant. So as long as you build your personal brand, you can shift. Like Gary Vee's shifting all over the place. Like he came out and he was a wine guy. And then he shifted to a media guy. And now he's representing athletes and he's running conferences and he's got like 10 different businesses. And no matter what business he does, there's people out there that are following him because he's Gary Vee. He could do anything. He could sell
shoes.
fucking shit on a
He
stick.
does.
And people
He
would
is
buy it.
slanging the shit out of his own fucking
And they're,
shoes.
they're so damn
K-Swiss.
ugly. Oh my god.
It's disgusting.
What the fuck?
But more
shoes
power
are
to him. More
hideous.
fucking power to him. Like K-Swiss, I hadn't heard about K-Swiss and since I played tennis.
Yeah. They fucking,
That's his
Damn.
plan.
he broke the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his plan, is to take old businesses that we all grew up with and revitalize them. And things like Pez, or, I mean, he was talking about Nintendo before they came out with
Switch.
the Switch. But before that, even he was talking about probably a couple months before the Pokemon app came out. He goes, this company has so much value, but they're not doing anything with apps because this is where people live now.
Absolutely.
And then Pokemon came out and was huge.
Well, I mean, like for esports, we have Ari Siegel, who is CEO. He opened up, was the president of the San Diego Gulls when they came back. Now he's CEO of Immortals. He's going to come on the podcast, but esports is just absolutely exploding. And if you look at Twitch, which is an app, the amount of people that are watching fucking people play video games will fuck your head up.
Dude,
It
it
will
was
seriously
stupid.
fuck your head up.
Brody's son.
Millions
Willie?
of people watch, like go onto Twitch right now and you could see, and it's insane.
Yeah. Willie
People are
does that
making
shit.
mad money from it too.
Videos himself playing a fucking video game and everyone's watching it. I mean, he's
Smart people are investing too in
got, Jesus
esports.
Christ.
Really smart, really wealthy people are getting into esports, and we're excited to dig into that. But that goes back to the phone. I mean, that goes back to the smartphone. I mean, how many phone calls do you make as a percentage of what you do with your phone? How much of it is actually talking?
Oh, a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Yeah, I mean, we're so heavy with social, but one of the things, I've literally had a driver for the last couple years, because when we're going around, like as a realtor, I'm in the car 2 to 3 hours a day, most days. And I have a choice when I'm in the car. I could either be driving and focusing on the road, even listening to podcasts or whatever, getting some education. But I need to be communicating with clients, because if I'm not communicating when I'm going from one appointment to the next, by the time I stop, I've got 20 texts and 15 emails and all these chats that have built up. So I've chosen to have somebody drive me from appointment to appointment, because that way when I'm going in between those appointments, I can actually be communicating with people, because the majority of people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, it's all electronic communication. So whether it be chat or text or email, that's how we communicate. And I just can't do that while I drive. And so I love it, because I want it to be where if I'm on my way home from work at the end of the day, I want to be getting everything done when I'm on the way home. So when I do get home, I could set the phone down and I could focus and be with my family. And so having somebody drive me around, people are like, that's so cheesy. That's like, you're such a tool. I'm like, no, dude, I get way more shit done. Like most realtors that do, I mean, we sold almost 400 houses last year.
Damn.
Like most people that are running a real estate business like that are doing the 20-hour a day Gary Vee thing.
Sure.
I'm home between 5 and 6. 4, if not 5 days out of the week, every single week, because I'm utilizing my time as effectively and efficiently as possible. I don't want to be just sitting in a car listening to the radio. Like that's such a wasted opportunity to get shit done. So if anytime I'm headed out to go meet with the seller, meet with the buyer, I always bring somebody with me. Hey, like coming here, Brian drove here so that I could get shit done on the way here. So, and then it's also a cool opportunity for people too to come along. So if I am on a conversation, they get to learn, they get to hear. So like I see that for me as a leader, as a business owner, like when I'm going and meeting with people, that's opportunities for somebody to shadow me. So whenever I'm meeting with a client, somebody's always with me every single time, because somebody might as well learn from, what I've learned over the last almost 20 years of doing this industry. So I'm always trying to educate people at the same time. So it's allowing me to be more efficient when I'm going from appointment to appointment. And then it's allowing me to grow my business because people are seeing me in action, where I've, sold thousands of houses over the years, and somebody's only sold 1 or 2 houses, and they can learn from the person who's done it 1,000 times. So it's a really cool educational opportunity as well.
When did Derek and I get to use your helicopter?
I wish I had a helicopter, dude.
I see the fucking helicopter every episode. Don't bullshit.
Dude.
Don't fucking bullshit, man.
I want a helicopter so bad, but those things are so damn expensive.
It's like an hour of maintenance for an hour of flight.
It's so
Really?
cheap to rent them, dude.
Shit.
It's crazy cheap. You'd be like, we go up to Big Bear all the time, and you can fly in a helicopter in Big Bear for like $35 a person, dude.
Really?
Yeah, quick little, just goes up over the lake, around the mountain, back down. $35. Like, why the hell would you buy one?
Right? Yeah.
It's so cheap.
There's
And
a
those
book,
things
I think it's called The 8-Hour Workday.
4-hour work week.
Is it?
4-hour work week. Tim Ferriss.
No, it's not him. But it's basically just
8
saying,
minute
like
abs?
what you're saying.
Yes, that's what it was. That's
just being as efficient as you can in the a lot of time you have. So having the driver, people might be like, oh, that's pretty fucking bougie or pretentious, but it's like, no, like this is actually where I get the most work done, and I don't have to worry about crashing or doing something, I can actually get work done while I'm in here. I didn't even think about that.
Look what fucking Philip Rivers did.
I need to talk to my wife. Like, hey,
Oh yeah, I saw Rivers' van. That thing is
shit.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Decked out.
I would love that for sure.
yeah, I'm definitely I'm like, babe, I have to get a driver. Sorry, I just have to be efficient. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
my
the things
wife
I'm
talks
learning.
so much shit when I told her about that a couple years ago. I was like, I'm gonna have somebody drive me everywhere I go. She's like, what?
Yeah.
But now she loves it, right? Because literally, if you talk to any other realtor out there that's selling homes like we are, nobody's making it home to their family at 5 or 6
No
o'clock
way.
every day. Nobody, dude.
No.
So just for me, when and I tell my people at the office, like, look, when I'm here at the office, like, I'm head down, I'm here to work. I don't give a fuck what you did this weekend. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, when 5 o'clock rolls around and we want to crack a beer, cool. Or we go out to lunch,
Right.
cool. Let's talk about some personal stuff. But when I'm here, like, I'm 100% focused. Like, I'm all business when I'm at the office. But when I'm out of the office, I do everything I can to just be focused on whatever it is I'm doing at that time.
Sure. What do you teach the students when you go and talk to them?
Like yesterday at SDSU. So that was cool. It was a speed networking event. So it was just all these kids that are in the real estate society at SDSU that have aspirations of getting into real estate.
Get rich quick?
They all want to. What's crazy is the San Diego State Real Estate Society is funded heavily by McMillan and a lot of other developers and commercial real estate companies. And so every kid I interview, like, I want to get into commercial real estate. I want to get into commercial finance. I want to get into commercial appraisal. I was like, what the fuck? Like, they're steering these kids, and there's people that might listen to this, and I'm just being honest with you because that's just my style. They are fucking these kids up, and they're all headed towards this path of commercial real estate. Like, there's maybe 50 commercial real estate agents that are actually successful in all of San Diego County. There's thousands of residential real estate agents that are successful. I feel like they're steering these kids down a very, very narrow path where very few people are actually going to be successful, as opposed to steering them towards the very basic opportunity of just selling houses.
Yeah.
There's tens of thousands of houses selling month after month after month. There's only a finite number of commercial properties. So I worry. So I was telling a lot of the kids, like, just be open to it. I know they shove commercial down your throat here, but residential is where the opportunity is. And most agents, when they join our company as an agent, they're making 75 grand their first year in the industry, where these kids are going into commercial and they're going to be somebody's bitch for the first 4 or 5 years and make, 30, 40 grand. And maybe eventually that person dies and they can take over their business or something, but there's not a lot of opportunities in commercial. So that was a big message to a lot of the kids last night, is residential is the quickest and easiest way to get into the industry and make money quick. And I love the residential side of it. I actually did commercial for 6 years, so I feel like I can actually talk about this and compare and contrast. Residential real estate's just so freaking rewarding. Like when I started selling houses in my 20s and I would sell my friend their first condo, and it's their first home. Like that's a really cool experience to be able to share with somebody when they buy their first home. Then they get married and they're like, all right, well, I don't need the little condo down in the middle of all the bars in PB. Like I'm going to get a house with my chick and we're going to move out. Right. Then they have kids and they're like, all right, well, this little house in Bay Park's not enough. Let's sell this and let's move to, the house in La Jolla. And it's so cool to get to be a part of people's lives as they kind of grow. And that's just so rewarding. And, you're going to housewarming parties with them and you end up becoming friends and you're going out to, different events and you're having play dates with the kids. Like that part of the residential real estate space is so cool, because in commercial, it's all about numbers. It's all about the deal. And it's like, what have you done for me lately? Where residential is such a relationship-based business. I love that.
Yeah, my little sister, she's commercial real estate, and she's a lot younger than me. She's 11 years younger than me. But she, at first, kind of like you said, just treated like someone's bitch for a little while and doing stuff. And she's fucking extremely good at what she does. She's extremely intelligent, and now she's working with my brother-in-law's cousin, Larry Jackal. And they're killing it, but he's actually treating her like a human and not just like this little fucking anything. So she's really excited about it now, whereas at her other company, she just, like you said, was just kind of getting treated like shit.
Yeah.
But also, like, the bigger the industry, the older the industry, they're the hardest to adapt to change.
Right.
Like, talk about a commercial brokerage going cloudless. Like, that's a way bigger fucking ask than, you having your own brokerage and saying, hey, I've done the research. This is what we're going to do. And this is why we're going to do it. And we're going to fucking just go guns blazing and, jump on the ship and let's do this.
Totally.
Right.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's fun. I'm loving this adventure. This whole EXP thing has just been a blast. And it's cool. We're sharing this thing across the nation. Like, we're doing webinars constantly, just sharing, because everybody's like, what is this all about? Like, this is crazy. What do you mean there's no offices? Like, what? Like, it's funny because one of the other biggest brokerages in the world right now, they just had their big retreat over the weekend. And the owner of it was just talking all kinds of shit about all these other real estate companies out there, with EXP being one of them and a couple others that are really crushing it right now. And it's like, why would somebody publicly get on stage and talk shit about all these other people and drop names? Like, it's one thing when you say, hey, I know there's a company that's doing something like this, just keep your eye out for it. But when you're going out there and publicly, like, calling out one company after another, like, they're scared right now. They're totally scared. Like,
it's insecurities.
It's totally, like, you would not get out there and bash all these companies if you weren't scared of them. Right. I mean, it's totally insecurities. They're projecting all of that out there. And in all honesty, it was stupid to go and drop the names, because in his eyes, he probably assumes everybody in his audience has heard these companies' names before. But I bet you 75% of the people there had never heard the names before.
Right.
Now you just put that name on the radar, and I bet you they're out there researching it and be like, hey, he mentioned this company called Compass. He mentioned this company called EXP. Like, what are these guys about? When they had never heard those names in their life, and now they just moved up on their radar. That was stupid of him.
Yeah. Thanks for helping the search engine optimization.
Yeah, our YouTube video about EXP is blowing up. It's awesome.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out to come out and to Spring Valley, and I know all the love you guys have given Sean at Cali Comfort and for coming to Valley Farm. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out and teaching us a little bit.
Yeah, it means a lot to us, and to have people that are really invested in the community. It means the world. I mean, the fact that you guys have given so much to East County to highlight the sexy things that mom and pop shops are doing. That means that you have your heart in the right place. And we're really fucking excited to find like-minded people in different industries. And that's one of the cool things about the podcast, is it allows us to talk to people doing great shit, understanding that 2018 is different and Amazon is here to play. And once they start slanging houses and you can buy a house on your phone.
We're already signed up with them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're ready for it.
Have you figured out the notary thing? Because that's a fucking pain in the ass. You don't have a digital notary yet?
Not
Yeah,
yet.
you did find out.
You got an app for that?
Yeah, it's called Shasta.
Yeah, her
called
name is
Shasta.
Shasta. She also writes the blog.
She also writes the blog.
Yeah.
We do have a social shout out for one of our listeners, Primacy Meat Company. Nothing but respect for Chris Wood out in Virginia. This fucking guy, he said he listened to the podcast. He tuned into the Sam the Cooking Guy. He said he was going to contact pitmasters in Texas, and he actually went and did it.
Nice.
So he's living his barbecue dream. He's going to open up his shop next year. He's got an Instagram page at Primacy Meat Co. But we're going to be sending you out a behind the smoke mug. Thank you for tuning in. It means the world to Derek and I. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming out here. Follow them, East County Eats on Facebook. If you want to learn how to make a real fucking sexy video, contact these guys because they're doing the right things and they're doing it in food, which makes us really, really excited
And hungry.
and hungry.
Yeah.
So that's probably not great for your diet, is it?
No,
Go
but it's
smash a big ass salad, bro.
okay. Yeah, just crush it. I'm ready. I'm ready. But thanks again,
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you, guys.
tag us in your photos at Barbecue War Stories, and we'll catch you guys next week.